They call it a mountain, but it's no ordinary one. Just outside Jakarta stands Southeast Asia's biggest landfill, a steaming, stinking heap of the city's waste. Flies buzz over rotting food, torn clothes, broken furniture, plastic scraps, and even old medical x-rays. Among this chaos, goats, rats, cats, and cockroaches roam freely, just like the thousands of people who live there. Families sort through garbage to find something, anything, of value. They eat, sleep, and raise children on the trash society leaves behind. This isn't hidden from view. It's right there, in plain sight. Number 1, Garbage Mountain of Capital. Just east of Jakarta lies Bantar Gebang, Southeast Asia's largest open-air landfill. Spread across more than 110 hectares, it's a vast, rotting patchwork of garbage, almost 200 football fields wide. Once farmland, it's now home to thousands who live in makeshift shelters built from scrap, wood, tarps, and metal pulled from the very mountain of waste they survive on. Every day, over 7,000 tons of trash pour in from Jakarta and nearby cities, more than 1 million garbage bags daily. Built in 1989, the dump has become an unofficial economy where people dig for anything they can sell, eat, or use. Despite promises to shut it down or find cleaner solutions, Bantar Gebang keeps growing. In just 2 years, it expanded nearly 10%, creeping closer to homes. With Jakarta's population booming past 34 million, the crisis is only deepening. This landfill isn't just trash, it's a living symbol of survival, failure, and neglect. Number 2, Life among the trash. Beneath Jakarta's choking heat and smog, an invisible city rises, not built of concrete or glass, but of trash, torn banners, and human grit. Around 6,000 to 20,000 people live and work in South Asia's largest landfill. This isn't a camp. It's a full-time, forgotten community stitched together by survival. They are scavengers, digging through endless garbage for plastic, wire, cans, anything they can sell for a few rupiah. Most sleep right beside the trash in shelters made of warped plywood, carpets, and old advertisement banners. These makeshift homes cling to the hills of waste like camouflage, blending into the rot. There's no running water, no toilets, no lights, just buzzing flies and the constant stench of decay. Yet life carries on. Cafes serve tea and stale biscuits. Around 2,000 families live here permanently, most undocumented, invisible to the city. Many came from rural Java, driven by debt or hunger. Some were born into this life. I vomited for days when I arrived, says one 25-year-old. But after a while, even the unbearable becomes normal. For them, the landfill isn't work, it's home. Number 3, Women in Garbage Survival. Life here is brutal, but for women, it's even harder. Nearly 40% of the scavengers are women, many of them single mothers. They sort through trash for scraps to buy rice or baby formula, often with babies tied to their backs. There are no toilets, no privacy. They relieve themselves behind garbage piles, using torn rags during menstruation, sometimes stained, dirty, or soaked in unknown chemicals. Showers are rare, a single bucket of water may be shared by a whole family. At night, with no electricity, the landfill turns dangerous. Flashlights are few. Some women report harassment or worse in the shadows. Still, they endure, working 12 to 14 hours, raising children, surviving in a world that sees through them. But the worst is still hidden. Number 4, Eat trash to live when food becomes a luxury. In the shadow of Jakarta's skyline, survival looks nothing like life in the city. Families don't eat, they dig. Each morning, adults and children search through garbage for plastic, metal, and leftovers thrown away by restaurants or hotels. This daily food hunt is so common it has a name, leftover rice eating. Meals are collected in plastic bags, rinsed, boiled, and shared. Sometimes it's soggy vegetables, meat scraps, or chicken bones with a bit of flesh left. Once in a while, they find sealed snacks or expired milk. But hunger rarely allows for choice. Food poisoning, worms, and malnutrition are common, yet there's no real access to healthcare. Kids as young as 5 help sort trash instead of going to school. On this mountain, meals aren't chosen, they're found, reheated, and hoped for. This isn't poverty anymore. It's just life, redefined by necessity. Number 5. Bang Children Childhood. In Bantar Gebang, childhood doesn't start with toys or books, it starts with trash. Here, kids as young as 5 join their parents sorting garbage to help feed their families. School is a distant dream. Uniforms, books, even the ride there cost more than they can afford. Cuts from glass, rusted metal, or needles are common. With no medicine, even small wounds can turn dangerous. Some children, overwhelmed by hunger and hopelessness, turn to sniffing glue, an escape that slowly destroys them. A few makeshift classrooms exist, run by struggling volunteers, but lessons are irregular, drowned out by the roar of garbage trucks. Childhood here fades quickly. For most, the dump sets the boundary of their world. Dreams of another life? Distant, silent, almost impossible. Number 6. Health and environmental issues. The health crisis in Bantar Gebang isn't limited to those living on the mountain, it spreads far beyond. Beneath the trash, methane gas builds up, risking deadly explosions. Fires have broken out, releasing toxic smoke that blankets nearby neighborhoods, burning eyes and lungs. Thick black liquid, leachate, seeps into rivers and canals, poisoning local water. Many report changes in the taste and smell of their well water. Illnesses like chronic coughs, stomach infections, and skin rashes are rising. Worse, medical waste, used syringes, bloody bandages, expired drugs, lies mixed with food scraps and diapers. Most clinics and hospitals don't treat their waste. Trucks dump everything straight into the landfill. A 2019 report found illegal dumping at military bases and hospitals selling waste to recyclers. With almost no safeguards, this toxic mix grows daily. The damage touches not only the poor who live there, but the air, soil, and people beyond, silent victims of a system in collapse. Number 7. An unjust system in waste is not just a burden. Each day, tons of garbage pour out of Jakarta's richest neighborhoods, luxury towers, shiny malls, spotless offices. The trash vanishes from sight, with no fines, no tracking, no responsibility. But it doesn't disappear. It ends up in places like Bantar Gebang, where the poorest live and breathe beside rotting waste and toxic fumes. For the wealthy, throwing something away is effortless. For the poor, it becomes survival, a child's job, a mother's health risk, a scavenger's slow death. Indonesia lacks a proper waste system. Everything, plastic, food, electronics, syringes, is dumped together. And it's the unprotected waste pickers who face the danger, bag by bag. This isn't their failure. It's a broken system built by others, and the poor are left to pay with their lives. Number 8. Small efforts. Amid the chaos of Bantar Gebang, small sparks of hope are pushing back. One comes from Rara Bao, who grew up on the garbage mountain. Teased as a child for the landfill's stench, she returned years later, not to escape, but to change things. She founded BGBJ, a center offering art, education, and after-school programs to help kids imagine life beyond the trash. They also run a guest house and recycling studio, where locals turn waste into products, earning income and pride. BGBJ recently joined a project that transforms plastic waste into building materials. These efforts bring dignity, purpose, and possibility, but they're not enough alone. Real change needs serious government action. Until then, the trucks keep arriving, and the mountain keeps growing. Number 9. Target Bank is a direct consequence. Bantar Gebang isn't just a landfill, it's a reflection of Jakarta's failed urban planning. As the city grew without vision, it collapsed under traffic, toxic air, floods, and sinking land. In response, Indonesia moved its capital to Nusantara, a so-called smart city, in Kalimantan. Government offices and elites are relocating, but the poor are not. The waste still piles up, the air still chokes, and inequality remains. Bantar Gebang is not an accident. It's the price of unchecked growth, where rich districts enjoy comfort, and the poor live beside poison. The capital may change its name and place, but for families buried in trash, the message is clear: you're not part of this future. Unless this divide is addressed, the shadow of Jakarta will follow the nation wherever it goes. Number 10. Indonesia is double trapped. Indonesia walks a dangerous tightrope between a growing waste crisis and worsening climate extremes. As the world's second-largest plastic polluter after China, it dumps millions of tons of unmanaged trash each year, most ending up in giant, uncontrolled landfills like Bantar Gebang, which swallows 6,700 tons daily. But climate change makes these mountains of garbage even more dangerous. Droughts cause toxic black wastewater to overflow into farms and rivers, while sudden floods and landslides have become deadly. In 2023 and 2025, landslides linked to rain and unstable waste hills killed dozens and displaced hundreds. Bantar Gebang, with its growing, unstable piles, risks becoming the next disaster. Behind every tossed plastic bag, a child scavenges. These people are not statistics, they are survivors living on what the world throws away. Will we look away, or finally act before it's too late?